Alright, in this part, what we want to do is to make sidebar responsive so that we can view the website on mobile as well. If I get an inspect and click on this toggle device toolbar and, for example, choose iPhone 12 Pro, as you can see, the page will be displayed like this. For now, there is no content in this section. When the content is included, this will be filled completely. As a result, it's better that we didn't have this menu here, I mean the sidebar, and have it as a toggle mode. What I mean is there should be a button, and whenever we click on it, the sidebar appears and we can see it. And whenever we don't want it to be displayed, we click on the button again so it will be toggled. This means that we only see it when we want to. How do we do this? And this section of ours, as you can see, has a padding. Look at this here. Our main has a padding left, and we want to set it to 0. That is without padding, so that the entire page will be allocated to main. And also, make our sidebar appear only when we want it to be displayed on the page. Okay, let's start coding. To do this, we need a new file called responsive. We will use SASS partials and create a new file named responsive. Then we will import this responsive file here at the end of main. We want it to override all styles, like this. Now that this is here, we wanted to do a series of actions when the width of our page is 768 pixels or less. We say that when the max width is 768 pixels, we want to have a series of styles. Therefore, we define that if the width of the page is 768 pixels or less, we wanted to do a series of actions. See, up to 768 pixels. That is, if it is 769 pixels or higher, we don't want it to do anything. It doesn't matter how much higher it is. However, when it reaches 768 pixels or less, that's when we want the styles to change. That is cell phone dimensions. Consequently, we set the breakpoint to 768 pixels. We say when it is less than 768 pixels, then perform a series of actions. Okay, after that, we say that in our sidebar, we want to do a series of actions. And also in our nav, where we have our UL, LI, and A tag, like this. We also want to do something about these A tags. Alright, we say that when this is lower than 768 pixels, the user must be able to see the texts here. For now, they are only displayed when they are hovered over. What we want is for the user to be able to see them. What should we do to do so? In this part, our spans are here, and we define that in our nav, their opacity is 0, and when they are hovered over, the opacity of our A tag should become 1. What we do now is that we change the opacity to 1, and we say that the opacity for our spans is going to be 1 here, like this. Now, you see that for now it hasn't been applied. But why? Let's go and see what the reason is. As it is shown here, the reason is that the span is not inside the A tag. It is outside the A tag. So we go here and move the spans and place them outside the A tag. This here, if I press Ctrl and X and then paste it here, we will have the A tag separately here, and we will also have the span inside the LI. Our LI has two parts. One is the A tag and the other is the span. We have already given it its A tag, and for the span C, this will be displayed. But there is a problem. Please note that when I click on this part, I'm clicking here, our section does not change. It will only change when I click on the icon, when I click here. This means that the text is not part of the A tag. This is not good. On mobile, the user should be able to change the section by clicking on the text as well. So what should we do? We say that the span which it has and comes immediately after it For that span, set display to none. We don't want it here in mobile mode. So even if we click here, we don't see that here. We need to add a new span. But where? Inside all of the A tags. Here we add a new span like this and add the same inside them. What is this for? It is for the mobile mode to be displayed here. The other span is for the non-mobile mode. When we hover over it, this will be displayed. Why didn't we place the span inside it? Because when we hovered over here, it would display this. But we wanted to display the span when we hover over this part. Therefore, we add two spans. The one outside is for the desktop mode, tablets, and the like. And this is for the mobile mode. This is for the mobile mode so that when we are in the mobile mode, this will be displayed. Now let's give it to all of them. Okay, as you can see, now they all have it. If we go to mobile mode, we will see that it won't display it. That is the spans that we have here. Why is that? It's because we have set opacity to 0 here. That is, we said that any span inside the LI should have an opacity of 0. However, what we want is to set the opacity to 0 only for the spans in desktop mode. We want to have an effect on this here. As a result, we will change the style that we wrote before. Here, see, if I close this here, this A tag, we say that in LI, the spans that are its direct children and not the ones that are the children of its children. For its direct children, set opacity to 0. Now, in normal mode, we can see them too. That is these spans that are for the mobile mode. So we'll go here and say that the spans that are inside the A tag here, not their hover and not their before either, will go past active. And here we say that the spans that are inside the A tag, which ones? These ones. The ones inside the A tag in normal mode, their display is none. Don't display them. See, now it doesn't display them anymore. It displays only the spans that are for desktop mode. And when we go here, we should be able to see the spans that are for the mobile mode. However, here we said that the A tag span display none in our sidebar when we defined it for these sections. Now we go inside this part and we say for the spans that are inside the A tag, set their display to block. We display block these spans in mobile mode. And for these spans, we set their display to none in mobile mode, as you can see here. So the spans that are here are display none, and the ones that are here inside the A tag are display block. If I go back, as you can see, we are able to see them too. In normal mode, we will see these spans, and in mobile mode, we will see the other ones. And now, if I click on this, see the section will change. So these are also part of the A tag. However, these have been moved down. In order to move them back up, we can set position to flex. Inside the A tag here, in mobile mode, we say that display flex, as you can see here. Its display is now flex. In order to vertically center them, that is for it to be vertically placed in the center, we set align item to center. See, now they are exactly aligned. There is also a line here, see, they are underlined. In order to remove it, we say text decoration, none. As you can see here, the line disappeared. Now, there should also be a distance between the icon and the span. We give a span a padding left of 8 pixels so that there is some space between it and this here, this part as you can see here. When we hover over here, the thing we had will also interestingly appear here. the before we defined will also appear. I think it looks nice. We can change or remove this, but I like how it looks now, so we can keep this before. I mean the circle. The next thing I want to mention is this. We want the logo to be placed on the left, aligned with this. Therefore, we say that in responsive mode, for our logo, we set text align to left, like this here. So now it's text align is left. Next, we want to change the background for the sidebar so that it will be distinct. What should we define for the background of the sidebar? Here, we need to use the SASS function called darken. Let's say darken. But what color? We can choose one from our colors. Here, I'll select the color secondary and darken it for 30%. It doesn't work yet. Why? Because we need to add a semicolon after it. Now, you can see that it is here and it is darkened. We can also give it a padding right. That is, we can increase its padding right. For example, 60 pixels. Its width will increase a little. Please note that it had a padding left of 39 pixels before. And now we'll give it a padding right of 60 pixels too and change its size. All right, now it is here. We need a button up here which opens the sidebar and closes it. What I mean is we need a toggle sidebar button. What should we do? We'll go here at the top of the sidebar, this part, before logo. We will create a toggle sidebar like this, and this is an icon. Where do we get the icon from? From Line Awesome. It's called bar. We copy this here and paste the bar icon here. Yes, now you can see it. Next, let's go and style it. We can style it in normal mode above logo and then set its display to none because we don't want it in our desktop mode and we only want it for the mobile mode. Therefore, what should we say for the sidebar? Firstly, its position should be absolute. As you can see, position absolute. We'll also give it a font size of 30 pixels and a width and height of 45 pixels, as you can see. And then a background. For example, we will give it a temporary red background so that it is visible. See, it is now like this. In order to have these three lines in the center, what we need to do is set display to flex. If we want it to be centered horizontally, we set justify content to center. And if we want it to be vertically centered too, we set align items to center as well. Both vertically and horizontally, its content will be centered, as you can see here. Now it is centered, and what we need to do is to move it to this corner here. Because its width is 45 pixels, if we set right to 0, it sticks to this corner. See? It will stick here to this corner. However, if we set it to minus 45 pixels, the same as its own width, it will go to this corner the way we want it to. Now, what about its background? We say it should be the same color as the background of the sidebar in responsive mode. So we'll go here and copy this color and then paste it here, like so. But we have it in normal mode. See? It is up here. We don't need it in normal mode. So in normal mode, we set its display to none and it disappears. And now in responsive mode, we say that above logo, there is a toggle sidebar, which its display is flex, not block. It is flex, like this. We have it now, and in the other mode, the desktop mode, we don't. We have it in mobile mode. See, it only appears when it is 768 pixels or less. Here, see, it is 769 pixels and it doesn't appear. However, when it is 768 pixels or less, this menu that we have here changes. Next, What we want is for our menu to be hidden by default. For example, say we are in mobile mode. We want the menu to move to the left. We can easily do this in this part. First, we say transform, translate X minus 100%, which means move in the negative direction by the amount of your own width. It will be placed behind this, but because this part is on the outside, it won't be displayed. But because this is moved to the right by minus 45 pixels, that is the sidebar toggle, its right is minus 45 pixels, we can see it. If I remove this, it will disappear. We want to always have this and be able to see it. So now that we have done that, we say if it has class open, this here, our sidebar, if it has class open, then display it. Therefore, we say dot open. If it has class open, then transform, translate X 0. That is, in this part, if I give it class open, see, it will open. If I remove it, then it will close, like this. Now, how should we do this? We will use JavaScript for this. We say when this is clicked on, if it has class open, remove it. And if it doesn't, then give it class open. It means toggle. We go here to our JavaScript file, down here under the nav codes we wrote before, and start writing. First, we need to select this button and define an event on it. We say get this button, document.query selector, get this button. What is the button? It is inside the sidebar. And its name is toggle sidebar, like this. I say apply an add event listener on it of the click type. And when it is clicked on, perform a series of actions. It should do some actions whenever this toggle button is clicked on. What do I want it to do? I want it to select the sidebar. Now, I will copy this and paste it here. I will also delete this part, like this, and we have selected the sidebar. Now, our selector is for the sidebar. What should it do? We say that get its class list and toggle it. We no longer remove it, we say toggle it. That is toggle class open. That means that if it has class open, remove it. And if not, then give it class open. Let's take a look at the result. See, when I click on it, it will give sidebar this class. Now it has it. I will click, and because it has the class, toggle will remove it. Now it doesn't have it, so it will give the class to it. When I click again, it will remove it again. We want to do this gently and also have an animation while doing so. We can easily do this. We give it a transition to sidebar here, a transition on all 0.3 seconds. As you can see here, when I click, it will open gently. And I click and it will close. When I click, it will open, and with another one, it will close. So we have created a beautiful menu which does not block what we see. And whenever we want, we click on it, open the related menu, click on the section we want, and then close it to see the section. Now our section has a padding left and we can remove it. We want to remove this completely. What should we do? Main padding left 102 pixels. We can go to this part where we give sidebar its styles. We say that in mobile mode, its padding left should be 0. As you can see, it will now look like this. We can also give our sections a temporary padding top of 50 pixels so that we can see this. That is, when I click, I could see this, and it isn't covered by this. When we complete our website and add the content, we will remove this padding here, and this won't be a problem. This is a small button and doesn't cover much of the page. We can open our menu and close it using it. I hope you have enjoyed this part. See you later.